from Charlotte, North Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Rody Rob, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome once again to the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast, Wednesday edition. I am Adam Bomb, your host. This is episode number 561. Brian, my co-host, is shaking his head. No, what episode number is it, Brian? That's your intro.
563, technically.
563.
I had to check the take myself. Hello, everybody. Hello, Adam. Thank you for the introduction, by the way. Yeah, apparently it's wrong. We have to fix it. But, I think it's 563.
563. So either way, it's a lot, and I've been here for a ton of them. Our normal Wednesday show would be joined by Rody Rob. He is still taking some time for his family. So we have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat instead. If you're on the YouTube live chat board, you can see him there. Sierra Ann is here. Daniel Price, Christopher Steichleather, that's a Hall of Famer. Estrada, that's a Bomb Squad member. Let's see who else is going to join us. We're just getting started.
I think the hundreds are filing in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, views are off the chart, of course. Right. And I'm sure downloads tomorrow will be even better. But I want to start with not quite the elephant in the room, but sometimes we talk about things that are outside of wrestling here. We know about what's going on up in the Wisconsin area. The tragedy there, where apparently he's still alive and fighting, but if he does survive, he's still paralyzed from the waist down after the shots severed his spinal cord. And I've got to say, I like the NBA players' move. This is a predominantly African-American sport, and I like that they walked out tonight. They were taking the place of AEW Dynamite, in case you're wondering why I'm bringing this up here. But I think it's relevant, and I want to give a special shout-out to Kenny Smith, who, while at the announce table for TNT Sports, decided to join his brothers and walk out, as he put it, because this is not something you can stand by on. And these are professional athletes who can afford to make the stance, and they have a following on social media for every one of them. And I think this is a very good move here. This is a situation, the backstory on the gentleman and the instance. Not only was he not involved in the call that the officers responded to, he was trying to break it up, and then he was shot in front of his children, and is fighting for his life in critical condition still. I don't know if that's up-to-date information. I hope that he's still fighting, but this is wrong, Ryan. I mean, and I'm glad somebody's standing up.
No, I mean it's awful. I mean there really is no other way to put it. I mean it's you've never even really seen anything like that in sports, really, too. Like, now that I think about it, where people where just collectively they all just are kind of speaking up and taking a stand for a movement. So I mean, I fully support them. I mean, everything that's going on it's truly crazy, and I really hope that the gentleman who was shot, I mean, I hope, I know we said he's going to be, I think, potentially paralyzed from the waist down, but I mean,
that's confirmed. If he makes it, his spinal cord is way too severed.
I think he's stable now, I want to say.
Oh, he is?
I think so.
I hope so. On the board, John Estrada, kudos to the NBA for doing what they're doing. They're already doing a lot for their players, and NBA showing support is fantastic. Yeah. There are things that are bigger than sports. I know everybody's rushing to bring football and other things back, but there are much bigger issues. And this one, with everything that's been going on and the way that it's been so bad, these instances throughout this year, not just because of COVID and other things going on, these alone would stand out in this year, even amidst a pandemic. And I like what's happening here. I really do. And I'm glad there was no NBA tonight. And they're saying, Brian, postponement, but players are saying we're not coming back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really been keeping up with too much with what's going on with the NBA, but I know they're sitting out. But did they say, like, our game's going to be picking up tomorrow, Friday?
The NBA has at first, and unless something's changed since I was watching NXT the last 2 hours, but unless something's changed, they said that the games were postponed officially. But I mean, the reality of the players saying we don't care. We don't care who's champ. We're not coming back. This is a season that we need to go away. And they were already, I read earlier in the week, talking about a restructuring of their season so that the next 3 years would slowly get them back on track to still give them some off season. So, I mean, they had some plans in place. This would fix that 3-year structure if they wanted to just come back like normal and do a regular season later. But that regular season would start, I think, in October.
Yeah, that's usually when it does. Yeah,
so
October.
They got to fix some shit. They got to figure some stuff out, or it's going to bleed over into the next one. And Estrada says most likely tomorrow's set of games is going to be postponed to and going back to Friday. I don't. Some of the reports that I read seems like it's going to go back further. But any event, we're going to switch over to NXT now. Since they won Wednesday, since that's what we normally do here, Brian, they won by forfeit, but they won nonetheless. I'm sure Brian Alvarez will put out his funny tweet with 0 for AEW tonight.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what the RNC is going to do, though.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's
happening right here in freaking Charlotte, North Carolina.
Ugh.
I remember when the DNC was here back in Obama. I miss him. So we got Scarlett opening the show. We're going to address the elephant in the room right off the bat, and I'm glad they did. Karrion Kross can't defend his title with a separated shoulder.
No.
He's going to be out for a while. Before we break all of this down, Brian, Karrion Kross, give me your take. Is he returning to NXT, or when he comes back, does he show up on main roster?
Oh, yeah, no. I think he still has to show up in NXT. I mean,
But why?
Because I mean, he's barely even been in NXT. Why hotshot him all the way to?
But I read a lot of reports before he showed up on NXT that he was going straight to main roster.
I heard that too. I truly did not believe that.
I mean, it was dirt sheet, so who can trust it?
What's that?
It's dirt sheet, so who could trust it?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, there's very few. I mean, if Samoa Joe, fucking Kevin Owens, if they're all going to go to NXT, I feel like Karrion Kross, I mean, should. Maybe the only thing that he would have going for him is that he also has Scarlett, and to bring them up as a pair to, maybe Raw or SmackDown, I could see that happening. But either way, I still feel like he's gonna come back to NXT, probably go right into the NXT title picture whenever he does come back. And did he actually even say what the injury, like how long it's going to be for? Is it going to be weeks? Is it months?
I would imagine it has to be for months. If it was weeks, Brian, they would just let him hold it.
Well, I mean, like 4 to 6 weeks. Then you can maybe, I don't know. But either way, it seems like he's going to be out for a little bit.
Real quick from the board, Stykes says Kross isn't touching that title again. He'll just show up on the main roster like Drew did. And Price says, I like Kross. Sucks that it happened, but got to wonder how many people are going to be invested when he comes back. The TikTok line will work in his favor because it's a matter of time. But still, I like how, he played his gimmick into the fact that he's putting the title down. And Estrada says Kross needs to have a really good feud for sure with Ciampa before he goes main roster. I feel like this is Blackheart's curse here. Instead of Ciampa getting injured, it's the guy he's supposed to fight. Ciampa can't catch a break on a feud. It seems, Ryan, no matter what he does.
Well, I mean, he's still involved with. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
No, we're going right into there. I led you there.
Yeah, there you go.
So. We find out that Bloom, HBK, Triple H, Regal, they all met, and Vice isn't here on the board tonight. He didn't get a hall pass from his wife, but he was talking about, they're going to do a fucking tournament, blah, 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 blah. No. They came up with something way better. And let me play it out for you. It's a fatal four-way between arguably the 4 most decorated guys. In terms of takeovers and in terms of feuds and the way they built it. You got Triple Crown winners in Ciampa and Gargano. You got longest NXT run ever in Cole. You've got Balor, the former longest one. And Balor really, he wasn't able to win the North American, so that's why he's not a Triple Crown winner. So not only do you have them in a fatal four-way, Brian, now they make it a 60-minute Iron Man match.
I absolutely love this. And I'm glad that they didn't go the tournament route. I feel like we've been getting a lot of tournaments in whether it's NXT or even in AEW, we've been getting a lot of tournaments. So I'm glad that they went this route. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I saw an Iron Man match, let alone one for the NXT Championship. And now one of the questions too, I think Dan brought it up in one of the chats actually. Shout out Dan. What's up, Dan? Like, is this going to be? Is it like
so,
how many pinfalls, or is it?
Yeah.
First
So
pinfall?
what I think is going to happen is it's going to be accumulative. Obviously, you know, like
So
you
do
know,
I, yeah.
everybody's going to get the thing, but I think you're going to wind up at the end with two competitors that are tied that go to an overtime, and the other two are not eliminated by pinfall and that stuff, but eliminated because this is a tiebreaker overtime. They're not going to be there. So I like what can play out of this. I like where this is going. I think when you talk about course correction, this is a way to go. I felt like the round robin was wasted on the cruiserweights as a whole. It introduced a lot of talent to us, but for the most part, we didn't see most of them after that tournament. So I feel like that gimmick could have been used better on a situation like this to push a lot of guys to the top, 8 men, and have it go weeks and weeks and weeks.
Sure.
But I don't want it drawn out like that. I like that we get it next week.
I love that. And like you said, I mean, this is almost like the Mount Rushmore of NXT. So we get all these guys coming back for one fucking match to go against each other. It's just kind of, I mean, yeah, they all have stories with one another, but I mean, it feels like it's almost kind of thrown together, which kind of is. I mean, they didn't plan for Karrion Kross to be out like this. So I fucking love this, man.
Yes.
And it's on Tuesday, so I'll get to watch it.
It's weird. We'll have to figure out if we're going to cover it or what we're going to do, because one show's on Tuesday, one's on Thursday next week. It's going to be a clusterfuck.
And Saturday, I think, right?
Oh,
isn't that next week?
I don't know. I
don't
can't keep
no,
up
no,
anymore.
that's a couple weeks, I think. Yeah, who knows? I fucking know. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
I can't keep up. Stike says Finn's my pick. Estrada says this is their chance to get Finn Balor back as top dog. I know we keep saying he's a top guy, but he hasn't had a meaningful run of anything in a long time. I agree. And who knows what you want to go with after this, as long as it's not Ciampa and Gargano. But yeah, maybe Finn and Ciampa, maybe Balor wins here, and Ciampa is the guy who's going to be his next challenger to go in a one-on-one feud. And hell, you could have Gargano and Cole try to get something out of there. I don't know. I don't know where that could go.
This would play well into, depending on, again, this kind of depends on how long Cross is out, but when he comes back, because let's not forget, too, that Balor was, he was NXT champion, but he was also the first Universal champion. Then he got hurt and had to relinquish the belt. So him and Cross have those things that are kind of
And DP said
similar.
It's the same injury, Brian, that Finn had.
Even better.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cross shows up in the Rumble, is all I'm saying there. And then Daniel Price says, book it, Blackheart versus Demon. I like it. I think Ciampa's clearly heel. And you could, and Finn's playing a tweener role still a little bit since he's come back here. So maybe he embraces the babyface more. Either way, I like what they came up with.
I'm with you, man.
Kudos.
I totally agree.
Oh,
are you there?
Me? Yeah, sorry. Stike said it, not DP. I'm always quoting fucking people wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right, Brian.
Yeah,
I got to go to Critical Town here with you on the next one.
Okay.
Oh, you know where I'm going. It was the curtain match for the night on NXT. It's Imperium against Breezango. I first would like to note the travesty that Tyler Breeze and Fandango have never held a title till tonight. But we get new champs, and I got to say, this is how you book a tag match. It had good spots. It had good tags. It was very fundamentally sound. And I'll say it in the same breath, Brian, there's no question, can't argue that AEW doesn't have the top tag teams. But when you're doing 6-man, 8-man, 12-man, 10-man tag matches, just to prolong the one we want and not get there, there's other ways to do that. You have the guys compete against each other in singles matches. You do other stuff. I feel like AEW should have taken note here, because this is a TV feud that came back around on a contendership, and they took the titles, and we kind of cared on a TV feud, and we believed it.
Yeah, listen, no question, this was an excellent match. I mean, Breezango, they're doing. I love them as a tag team in NXT, but Imperium, Pernium,
insignificant title run.
Emporium. Emporium. They have a weird name. Sorry, I'm going to keep saying it.
Eichner and Barthel. Insignificant run, Brian.
Yeah, it's insignificant, but I think that also has to do with a little bit of the times that's going on right now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's, I mean, even me personally, like I fell off of NXT too and didn't really pay attention to their title run, but both those, I mean, all four of those guys are fucking phenomenal. So when they're in a match together, two on two, yeah, you're going to get a great match. That's not to say that AEW doesn't have, because you were taking shots at AEW, so I have to defend the
Please
sword.
do.
Yeah, they have a phenomenal fucking tag team division. Are you kidding me? Down to the fact
no
that they're
question.
being booked. They're being booked in these big 8-man, 10-man gauntlet matches. Yeah, that's it's not preferable. Of course, I'd like to see just traditional tag team matches, but to go out and say that NXT's tag division. Did you say that it was better?
No, I think Estrada summed it up. I think Estrada summed it up best here. He says, "Sorry, Brian. AEW clearly has better quality tag teams, but as far as the matches, they're very low tier. NXT used to be A+ in all their tag matches, and until recently, they weren't. Now it's good to see a good tag match on NXT again." And I agree. They have to rebuild their division here. But when you have 3-4 tag teams, whatever the hell they got right now, they took the titles off Imperium, which I think because NXT UK is about to come back and those boys are going to go there. And then you set up El Fantasma's faction, those two guys, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, as the next guys to feud with them, which has kind of been built underneath for a little while. So I've got to say that this is a slow story arc that now includes the titles with Breezango and El Fantasma, El Hijo, I don't know the faction's name.
El Legato.
Whatever. I'm so bad. It's the Fantasma legacy.
El Hijo, I think Hijo means brother or little.
I don't know.
No, brother. I think it's brother.
I don't know. I foolishly took French in high school. I took Spanish, and
I should fucking know.
Oh yeah, I've got an excuse. What do you got? You got a mountain. But anyway, this is a feud that's now got a reason to continue. The belts have been added to it. Later in the night, when Drake Maverick's getting not Drake Maverick, sorry, when Swerve is getting screwed by the help from Escobar that Escobar has, you have Breezango come out and run them off, setting up the whole story they've been building for a while, but continuing it now with the titles in the picture. I really like it.
And, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but their fucking cruiserweight division right now is aces, bro.
That was a great match.
They've got some great talent in NXT right now, just in that division alone.
So we're talking about Swerve and Escobar here because we're allowed to fly around tonight. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're kind of going all over.
I also like the fact that he puts on the mask, which clearly had a hard item in it for him to headbutt. I like the fuckery here. It saves Swerve. It perpetuates that. You've aligned him further with Breezango because of the common enemy. You've set up a new tag team, Joaquin Wilde and Mendoza, to go after the titles that had just been won by Breezango. I think this is very good cross-booking all around, and it's been a slow build to get to this. I'm just saying I feel like that's how you're going to get back your tag division on NXT, and this is a great step. I'm not understating it. I don't want to throw AEW a bone negatively there, Brian, but
it's okay, man.
This was easily in the past couple months the best tag match I've seen, I think.
I agree. However,
from both shows,
hold your breath because September 5th, when Hangman and Kenny defend the titles against an unnamed opponent, I think that match might take the top spot. I'm just saying, man.
Here's my problem, Brian.
What?
And what I just got done reciting for NXT, you have a fresh feud that we are already a little invested in for the titles in the Legacy of the Phantom and the Breezango.
Stands for
Fashion Police. You have that set up. Okay, and now the titles are involved. You've already got us there. You're setting up a mystery opponent. How can I connect with that until the bell rings?
Well, it's not a mystery opponent.
It's like when they
I'm saying
fought
mystery
the
opponent.
Natural Nightmares. It's like, okay.
No. We're going to find out tomorrow. Or no, I'm sorry. What day is it? Today's Wednesday or Tuesday?
Daniel Price
Wednesday.
FTR.
FTR, yeah, nah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be FTR. I agree. It's gonna be FTR.
Whatever it is, it'll be the Page and Omega. I hope finally split. I don't want there to be any like, will they, won't they? By the way, Ciampa crushed Jake Atlas and did a lot more than that after the bell. Bronson Reed, it was interrupted by Austin Theory. Yeah, Bronson slapped him. Brian, here's another guy. The WWE, to my knowledge, there's been no exoneration, but he's back. He was implicated. He's back. He's not on Raw anymore, but he's back.
Adam, I mean, I don't know if I have the mental capacity to talk about pieces of shit. I've been talking about pieces of shit a lot lately.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yeah. I just and hey, like, what, they haven't announced anything, right? I mean, I'm making my assumptions about.
Of course
what
they
I
don't.
Saw.
They only just now acknowledged COVID in a documentary about why WrestleMania got pushed back.
But like, say something. Like, and I forget who it was. I think someone asked.
Keep talking. I gotta get my water.
Triple H. What's that? What'd you say? Can't hear you. Adam. You there?
I told you to keep talking. I was getting my water, and you went silent.
I didn't. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. You said that while I was fucking talking. Check the goddamn.
You're fired.
I can't see you, you idiot.
Yes, you can.
No,
I have two cameras on me. You can't see me on either of them.
No, I don't have any view of you, motherfucker.
Oh, that's terrible. I'll talk to
our EP.
And the
one that I have is on delay. You just walked away now.
Well, you knew I was silent.
Because I was talking.
That's what I get for leaving my water on the other side of the table. Yeah. We also had, I don't want to talk about Austin Theory other than fuck you, WWE, for doing it again. Again. Mia Yim and Shotzi, lots of speculation that Mia Yim's part of Retribution. Her husband just got called up. Was this a farewell, Brian?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, she got
best color man in the business.
She got squashed out a little bit. I mean, they're still in fucking Orlando, so just because he's going to the main roster doesn't mean she has to.
Yeah, I mean, Bianca, I don't know why people say it. Bianca took a while to catch up to KC, you know.
And that was when they were still running shows all over towns. Now they're still in fucking Florida. I don't think she's going in.
Montez.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's see what else I got on my sheet. Oh, Shotzi ran over Robert Stone. Got a good laugh out of that. Rob laughed a lot. I laughed at it and then at Rob's reaction, so that was good on both levels. Okay, so we have Drake and Kyle O'Reilly, and at the end, Undisputed comes out and attacks, and Killian Dane makes the save. I don't know where this is going.
He looked like he lost a bunch of,
but I like it.
A bunch of LBs. Right, he looked a little skinnier, a little toner. Although he still had,
he looked more fit. He looked more toned. I don't know how skinnier he looked
compared to how he used to be.
I'm just saying he looked more fit. He looked more toned. I'm not positive if the girth factor went down.
The girth factor.
Yeah.
He's still a big boy.
He's still a big boy. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying he's like tiny man.
So anyway, that's some fun. This show's going fast. Rhea and Io team against Dakota and Raquel, and guess what happens, Brian? Raquel pins Rhea. Good match.
I really like the tandem of them, especially what does she call her finisher, Raquel Gonzalez? Do you know the one where she does? It almost looks like a choke slam, but she gets her from
no clue.
Leg. Oh, I love that move. In fact, I used to do that move back in my glory days. It was great. I got it from No Mercy, in fact, from Creator Wrestler. They had all the great moves.
Oh, sorry, I was marked out karaoke for a second.
Oh, see, I can't hear you when you're talking over me too. So that's why I say, huh? What?
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't been at the board in friggin' forever.
Oh, well, actually, since Monday, but.
Yeah, but you were a white screen. Check the tape.
I know I was. That was the white box, the great white box.
Damn, certain sound effects are way too loud. I apologize to anybody who just, wrecked their car. Sorry. Ugh. All right. We got a couple awards. We got the Marked Out and we got the Pity Town that we're going to get to shortly. I'm curious, Brian, since I want to talk about AEW just for a little bit. Is there a chance we all think FTR might be the ones that take the titles from Omega and Page? I feel like there was a missed opportunity a couple weeks ago where Stu Grayson and Evil Uno could have taken the titles, and Dark Order could be running around with a lot of gold, making their recruitment drive unbelievable, I would think.
Absolutely. And a lot more chilies, too, probably.
And I still, check the tape, contest, and I don't know if you'll agree with me here. Even though it was a good match and feud, because you didn't put Brody Lee over, and that was kind of his debut, I think if you had subtracted the Mox and Brody feud entirely from Brody's program and just done everything else, I think he would be even more white hot. I'm loving what they're doing.
I mean, I don't necessarily think so. That was his first feud. People kind of.
But he didn't need to be. He didn't need to be in that feud. He could have just debuted what he's done here as the leader, as the.
Sure.
And Stike says Brody and Colt as tag team champs. Now that was where I was kind of going, Stike, because Grayson and Evil Uno didn't win it. Who would win it without doing a retread? It would be Colt and Brody, furthering the Colt storyline. And Brody would have 2 belts. And Brody could say, I'm going to go let Evil Uno defend them tonight.
Yeah, I don't even want this one.
He could make a faction Freebird rule in AEW and just be like, we own the tag teams. Doesn't matter who wrestles for them.
Oh, yeah. And you know, you would have a bigger appreciation if you kept up on BTE. Their shit on Dark Order on Dynamite and Dark Order on BTE are almost like night and day. It's insane.
Like Butcher and Blade?
Butcher and Blade aren't really on. They're not really on BTE.
No, I'm saying like the kayfabe or whatever. Like, I don't know much about Blade, but like Butcher is, a rock god on one side.
Right.
And then here he is. He's a former butcher, which is true also. So it's just weird. He's playing like 2 personas outside of kayfabe, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha.
So you say you liked Raquel's finisher. The other thing I liked, I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know how close of attention you paid to Shotzi's moveset, but Shotzi did like a running sling blade bulldog. She set it up like a sling blade, but the finish was like a bulldog. And it was I thought it was a very unique thing. She kind of spun, and instead of the way a normal sling blade would come out, she turned it into a bulldog.
Right. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I do remember.
Did I describe it properly enough though to paint the picture? Yeah. Rob always says I suck at painting pictures.
No, you painted a beautiful picture. Thank you, sir. I just don't I'm not familiar with the move, or I can't picture it in my brain. But I did see someone do tonight. I think it was another one in the women's match. I want to say it might have been Dakota Kai. They did like a dragon screw. They had one of the girls up top, and she moved her legs over to one side, and then kind of did like a dragon whip, and she did it from the top row. I thought it was very, very innovative. I've never seen that.
Wrestling as a whole was very good tonight, with the exception of the one Ciampa Jake squash. Sorry,
Even
Atlas.
That was good though.
It was good for what it was, but
right.
I mean, it was like who's gonna get fed to Ciampa tonight?
Sure.
There's a reason they didn't advertise it. Austin Theory and Bronson Reed, maybe a little undercard feud there. We saw Damian Priest. I'm trying to just wrap up the other parts of my notes here. I really like certain aspects of where AEW is going here. Cody may be doing some filming or something, taking some time off, it looks like, so maybe that's why he's not in the title picture. We've got the teased breakup of the Elite. We have the Horsemen potentially waiting in the wings. We've got a lot of stuff building there.
Oh, yeah.
Even some of the sillier feuds like Proud and Powerful and Best Friends. There's a lot going on it, and I feel like NXT tonight took a huge leap to catching back up.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, who's to say what would have, I don't know what AEW is going to be like tomorrow, but
yeah, we don't know
NXT
yet.
show was fucking. They would probably, I would say, be close in ratings as far as, I mean, that was a really good show tonight. I got to say,
it's tough going, and that's I think they might have seen the writing on the wall, and they created something that's going to stand. They gave us 2 title matches. They had their other champs out there without being forced. It was good. Even Damian Priest not having too much to say, and Velveteen not being on TV. Good for that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there was Austin Theory. So let's do some awards, Brian. You ready?
Sure. I'm fucking born ready.
Are you ready for Payback on Sunday? I think we
did our picks, right? We did our picks on Monday, I think. Did
we?
we?
For the 4 matches they announced. Oh,
that's right.
I want to talk about this. So, I sent the picture out, but I can't find it now. Maybe you have it up, but there was a picture of the 6 people from Retribution, and it had who they thought was the people. It was Chelsea Green, Vanessa Bourne, and Mia Yim, I think, were the women.
I don't think it was Mia Yim.
It was definitely Mia Yim. Was one of them. Dijakovac.
Who? Dio.
Dio Madden, the former announcer, yeah. And who was the other one?
I'm trying to find it. You sent it in the group, didn't you?
Yeah.
There it is.
But there's so damn many.
Caden Carter, Shane Thorne.
Shane Thorne, that's right. Caden Carter, not Vanessa Bourne. So it's Caden Carter, Chelsea Green, and Mia Yim. And it's Dijakovac, Dio Madden, and Shane Thorne.
Say, man, like, not to say that's like definite. This is just a fucking. We're going off of we saw a meme.
Yeah, this is a meme. We're not
the body types of the people. Like it definitely looks like them. But I really.
It looks a lot like Mia. It looks a lot like Dijakovac and Thorne.
I don't know Dio Madden well.
Yeah, I only saw him seated.
yeah, right. And get the shit kicked out of him by, who was it, Samoa Joe?
I don't even remember anymore. I just remember he was bad, fish out of water.
Right.
On the announce table.
But
Speaking of which, what'd you think of Wade Barrett?
I loved it. I really do. I mean, I enjoyed his commentary when he was doing NWA Power on those episodes. So to see him back in NXT, I mean, it's nice. I'm a little bummed out because there were rumors that he was going to be going to AEW, but that's okay. I can appreciate his talents on NXT. I think he did a good job. What do you think?
I think I think I miss him. Of like I was telling this to Rob, of the Corey Graves or like Dasha Fuentes or anybody else that Taz that's had the career and then relegated to an announcer role.
Yeah.
It depends on my connection. I knew Taz from WWE, which wasn't a long run before he was sidelined. So I didn't have the level of ECW appreciation. I didn't see Dasha at all. I didn't see Corey at all. I wasn't watching either of them at the time. However, Wade Barrett, I watched a lot. And he just never could get off the ground. Even that one injury gimmick with I got some bad news to keep him relevant. But he just kept getting hurt and hurt and hurt. And he was so skilled on the mic. And I thought he was a modern day Magnum TA without the tragedy behind it, but still the same level of injury career wise to just take you out in the end just because you can't get right.
Right. He had to worry about, I mean, that was when John Cena was running roughshod all over WWE. I think probably his
but he was Nexus leader. He was core leader. He was King Barrett.
They tried to repackage him as a bare knuckle fighter. They had a bunch of vignettes of him beating the shit out of people like in a barn. It was basically Raw Underground before Raw Underground. He
was just gold, and I thought he did good here. I don't know where Morrow is. Stike says, do you think if Joe gets healthy enough to wrestle, WWE might reach out to Barrett for commentary? Maybe that's why they're testing the waters here on NXT. Maybe Joe is thinking he's going to be cleared, by Rumble or something. So they're doing a 90-day here. Yeah. I don't know.
What about, is he just stuck overseas, or is he just not doing commentary anymore? Do you know what's going on?
I don't know. He wasn't there at TakeOver 30.
Right.
He wasn't there tonight. I can only speculate. So marked out awards and Petty Town. My marked out's easy, Brian.
Yeah.
60-minute Iron Man match. Fatal 4-way through the Mount Rushmore of NXT. While, not even arguably, while they're all very much in their primes. This is a dream match that's happening.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your marked out?
Can't dispute that. My marked out is just seeing Wade Barrett back on commentary, but also back in WWE, well, NXT. But specifically, him being on commentary and him just throwing. He mentioned FCW. I think he even might have mentioned Deep South, which I kind of popped for a little bit.
On the board, Bus says Nigel got forload and Morrow by Stike. He's saying he's taking care of personal issues. So, board, you can get your marked outs ready. I'll go back to him. Brian, we're going to go to Petty Town. I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Start with me?
I'm going to start with you.
My Petty Town award, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the whole thing with Shotzi and her tank.
Oh, come on.
I know this is petty. I'm being petty.
Okay.
And her running over Robert Stone, like we've already seen it. Like he's already done it once. I think he's done it twice. What is this? The third time that she's run him over with it?
Yeah, this time she like ran him over, not just like ran over a foot. She ran over him entirely.
Yeah. Like
what did you call it, Brian? A retread?
A retread in many different ways, right? But yeah, if I'm gonna be petty, it's that. It's just very silly.
It's silly. If I'm gonna be petty, how many times does Drake Maverick need to be saved? Breezango had to save him when he was fighting the Legacy of the Phantom. Now he's getting beat down by Undisputed. Killian has to come save him. Brian had a retread for his. I got a retread for mine. It's becoming a theme. Hey, the little guy Drake, we need to save him. So, on the board, marked out for Stike Leather, the return of Psycho Killer Ciampa.
Psycho Killer. Oh, I was just singing the wrong song. Yeah, I was singing a Queen song. Wait, that's Psycho Killer? Is
Killer
a Queen song, right?
He's a killer.
Killer Queen.
No, Talking Heads. Psycho Killer.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah.
Bus, Petty Town. No wrestling tonight. Didn't have anything to watch today.
Wow, come on.
What a dick.
Even I wouldn't say that.
Petty Town for Stike. Thatcher put into a title program with Priest after he lost at TakeOver. Yeah. Thatcher has done nothing but lose. And they seem to be invested in him, but he's losing. Daniel Price says Spud is I'm not going to do it, but he's doing the Footloose lyrics from when Chris Penn.
Oh, I don't know.
He's holding out for a hero to the end. Anyway, I can't sing.
I feel like I've heard that at like Sweet 16s and stuff and bat mitzvahs.
Right?
Yeah, probably.
Bar and bat mitzvahs?
Out
on Long Island, you probably went to a lot of them.
I went to a few. I went to a few growing up. I did.
Please listen to my voice. Take it from the wise old Jew.
Yeah, I've been there. So we got Dan will probably give us a SmackDown minute for Monday Night Rawsome. We have an All Elite hour from Brian. So even though AEW did not get covered tonight, Brian will cover it on our third show here on the MOWP Network, the All Elite Hour. Be sure to check that out. There is no video when you watch it on YouTube, but it's still available on all the other platforms, and it's still available on YouTube as well, even though you don't have the video. So check it out. If you want to be part of the AEW Facebook discussion group, send the admins there, which Brian is one of them, a request to join. They'll get you in. It's a fun discussion anytime there's a live event. There's a lot going on, and the admins post a lot of fun stuff from dirt sheets and things like that. Bus says, in my opinion, NXT has been the same since the old days when it was taped at Full Sail. This new NXT is not for me, unless 6'1" Adam Cole is booked. Well, he was booked for a whole time. I mean, he lost the title like 5 weeks ago, Bus. So you're just now sullied on 5 weeks. Come on.
Hey, I also have to say though, watching NXT tonight versus watching the Thunderdome. It's I don't know. To me right now, I much prefer watching NXT with no monitors all over the place. I actually kind of like the people banging on the plexiglass now. I'm kind of used to it. I don't know. It's just Thunderdome is a little much, man. It's a little much.
Yeah,
it's a good idea,
especially with all the bad stuff. Stike says, Brian, who do you think is built up enough to challenge Brody for the TNT title? After you answer, I'll give mine.
Sure. God. To be honest, I mean, maybe I could see like someone like Scorpio Sky. That would give him an enormous boost. But I don't know. I mean, we still haven't seen Matt Cardona back. He
that's
made that
what
appearance.
I think. At least interim, feud. Cardona is going to come. You beat my friend.
Right.
That's the angle. They're going to keep it simple, stupid, and have Cardona maybe be the one to fight him at All Out. I don't think he'll win. I don't think they would do that to Brody, but that's the beauty of it. Brody can win hook or crook, or he can win clean. It'll work either way.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Bus is defending himself. I felt this way when it debuted on USA. Just not a fan of the new look, and Cole's my favorite wrestler. Bus says Matt Cardona or Page once he splits with Omega. I don't think Page is there yet. Page may be the long-term guy to take it from Brody Lee eventually, but he has to finish all the shit he's got going on right now there. And maybe he takes it when it's like Horseman versus Dark Order in the long booking. Write that down, because I think Page is part of the Horseman. This is a weird course correction. I feel bad for Keith Lee, but whatever. We'll talk about that more on Monday after we find out if he's going to win at Payback or if he's going to get another lackluster match with Randy that does not see a finish. I don't think that does anything for anyone. And I always go back to when Shelton Benjamin was put on his own. He beat 3 times clean on 3 consecutive Raws Triple H, a then Evolution Triple H. So these were not fluke wins. He went on to be the gold standard, which I thought was a pretty cool gimmick. They got behind him, and then they mama gimmicked him out of there. But anyway, if the lights go out in a McDonald's drive-thru as you request a Big Mac, is that a Dark Order? Daniel Price says.
No, they have a deal with Chili's, man. They need to get some sort of sponsorship with Chili's Baby Back Ribs. Adam, did you like Keith Lee's new look? Oh yeah, we already talked about it.
We talked about that all on Monday. Check the tape.
On Monday. We're going to talk about it more on. Actually, we'll talk about it on the when we record our. Are we going to do an Payback pay-per-view reactions for Patreon?
I feel like we have to for Patreon.
I'm down.
Of course, we know Rob suffered a loss on Sunday, and that's why we didn't do any for SummerSlam. There are Takeover 31s that are going to go up.
They're already up.
Oh, they're already up.
They're up.
And that's a good segue. Go to www.patreon.com/MOWP. We got 3 tiers for you to help us out. We know everybody's strapped right here, but anything is helpful to keep our product running. It is a labor of love, but there are costs attached, unfortunately. New equipment, subscriptions, etc. The $5 tier will get you all our pay-per-view reaction videos on there. We are doing pay-per-view reactions exclusively on Patreon right now, and hopefully forever. And the $10 tier will get you our mark-alongs, which are a lot of fun as well, as well as the tier 1 stuff. And then tier 3, you can go to markedoutgear.com, pick any shirt you want for $20 a month. We are going to send you a free t-shirt for basically your first donation there. We'll break even, but we want you to have some marked out gear. We'll let you pick the shirt, so there are no restrictions there. But the other big thing there is you guys can pick what we mark along to. You get all the content that we're going to have out there, which that third tier is going to have some stuff that is not wrestling that we put out there, whether it's bullshit videos we do, or whether we're marking along to a film, a TV show, hell, could be even a skit from something. I don't know.
I'll watch Johnny 5 or a Short Circuit. Sorry, Short Circuit 2.
Want to see Brian watch Short Circuit? $20. We'll make it happen. But anyway, if you can get on there and subscribe, we'd love for you to support us, I guess is the way I want to say it. We
love your support too. Thank you.
Yes.
For those that do.
Yes. Those that are already on there, we thank you so much for your donations. what do we got? We got I don't want to say the realistic number. We have thousands on there. No.
Yeah. Thousands.
Anyway, get out there. Bus, man, I miss Pac. I do miss Pac. That put the Death Triangle on hiatus, on hold. I wonder where they would be fitting in today's AEW scheme right now. Just curious.
Well, I think they still announce them as from Death Triangle. Like, they haven't scrapped it completely, but and I'm referring to Lucha Brothers.
Yeah,
but like, I forget when it was.
We need Pac there. We need Pac.
Yeah,
there.
I know.
All right, final thoughts. NXT, great job of course correcting and rebooking this. We've talked about VKM having his fingerprints all over NXT lately. This did not feel like a VKM product, and good for them. Maybe his hand was forced because he was up Trump's butt this week with the RNC, and the swerve on the whole, whatever you call it, carrying cross injury allowed them to recreate something better on their own. Either way, home run on the Iron Man match, and I felt it looked good. Brian, what's your final thought?
Final thought. I mean, it was fun just paying all of my undivided attention to NXT and flipping back and flipping off the RNC and then flipping back on NXT. But NXT did have a good show. I mean, they really did. Even the stuff that I was kind of critical about or petty about with Shotzi and her tank, it was still fun. It's a gimmick. Still wrestling. Yeah, exactly. There's silly stuff that's going to be on a show. I get it. It's fine. But no, it really was. This really was an awesome show. And actually, Stike, was it Stike? Yeah, Stike asked if we were doing an AEW show. And I saw that you just mentioned that we will be doing AEH, but I hear you guys. It's not just a circle jerk, okay? Whoever was the one that coined that. All right, we will be.
Me and Rob coined it because
okay.
You guys are very critical in terms of the match moves and the way you break it down. What you're not critical on is where there is some booking mistakes, where there's room for some improvement.
Sure.
We all are being critical, Brian, on AEW because we want to see it be successful. We don't want to see it end up hitting its peak like TNA did and then making the mistake of main event mafia everywhere.
Right.
I mean, think about what TNA did that was so great. They had this X division to showcase their new talent. They had couple tag teams that were well known, couple factions that were some up and comers like Team Canada. They introduced you to AJ and Samoa Joe and had them cross from X Division up to through the ropes or to the ranks. They had Christian Cage and Jeff Hardy, disrespected and underused in WWE, that came over and saw success. They signed two legends that still had a lot in the tank in Kurt Angle and Sting, giving them some name IDs to some old school guys to get them to come over and watch the product. And then they brought in Booker and Nash and Steiner, and then Hogan. After Main Event Mafia was Immortal and whatever, the Fortune, and oh my God, you killed your shit. They had done such a good job up until that point, and I don't want AEW to do the same thing. They've had some good success. They even pulled a Jeff Jarrett and crowned themselves, or excuse me, Cody did, by crowning himself new champ. But why do you have two top belts and no mid-card belt?
Does he have the belt anymore?
That's something that's got to be. He doesn't, but now we have two top belts still. If you look at the rankings, they're still being they're given equal weight. Brody and John are the champs. No question. Where's your mid-card ranking? Where's your mid-card belt? I'm not saying that you can't have two titles on the top. It seems weird. But you should have a mid-card belt, Brian. There's a lot of really good guys that should be fighting champions right now. A lot of guys that are overlooked. A lot of guys that got fucked by other things like Kip Sabian, being booked with Jimmy Havoc and then disappearing. I feel almost as bad for him as the Forgotten Sons. Those two guys that went down I mean, anyway.
I totally forgot about them.
Since they like casino themes, call it a wild card title or some shit. That's not bad, DP.
Or Joker's Wild. The Joker's Wild title. No, that's stupid.
Yeah. Final thought for Buzz: justice for Jacob Blake, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many more people who lost their lives via police brutality. Yes.
Yep. With you.
You know, still. You saw what happened with Cannon. I think was his name.
Yeah.
The 5-year-old who was killed. His killer has already been prosecuted, sentenced, the whole 9 yards. So you can't tell me that the justice system can't be swift. He got justice very quickly. Breonna Taylor's still hanging out there with no justice. This has got to stop. And I'm glad, Bus, you weren't here at the beginning of the show, but I'm glad the NBA is using their voice. I think this is a big step toward getting everybody to acknowledge that everybody that we live with here in America are brothers and sisters, and nobody should be profiled or prejudged ahead of time because of what they look like, color of their skin, or whatever. Especially now when everybody's wearing masks. How do you identify? You can't say, oh, hoodlums wear masks. No, we're all wearing masks. You know, you can't see any of our faces. Everybody looks suspect. So if you want to go that route, if you were not to prejudge, a mask makes everybody look suspect to me. It just does.
Well, speaking of masks, actually,
that's
you can pick
evenly
you
across
can pick one
all.
of these ones up.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know what
It's
I'm
a
saying,
wrestling
Brian?
mask.
Everybody in a mask looks somewhat suspicious. It's not judged by gender, race, creed, anything like that. This is a broken system that we have here, and somebody that's supposed to protect us, the police, don't, and they're profiling like motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying all police here. I want to be clear, but there has to be some regulatory thing in place. There has to be something, and there has to be a clear structure of jurisprudence where something like this happens, and we're not screaming for justice. It goes right through the process. This person's going to be arraigned. They're going to be tried. They can be acquitted if the evidence supports whatever. I'm not saying, everybody's going to be guilty, but they should be booked and arraigned at the very least, not just fired.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder if it's going to if it's going to like other sports, are they going to take the same route?
So, NBA is 90% African American, I think, is what I read, and NFL is about 80. 80 seems like enough to me for them to, especially right now. What are you going to lose by missing a sports season right here? Let's not just give up our football season. Let's make a stand. Let's not just give up our NBA season. Let's make a stand. I think this is, we could see some more civil unrest by the end of the year, especially in November.
Agreed.
I think that this is something that should get addressed now and not lead to potential more unrest come November. I think this is something that's so prevalent this year, even in a pandemic, that you can't ignore it. And NBA, good first step. Let's see the NFL do the same. I would really like to see that. You would just really, I think, hit home with a lot of areas and stuff like that, like the severity. You want to get your message out. Unfortunately, the South is a big football fanatic area, and they a blanket statement, not anywhere near all of us, but there tend to be a lot of hatred in the South still, and a lot of racism down here. So football would be a wake-up call, I think, to a lot of them, and at
Definitely.
least send a message to anybody that might be on the fence or is afraid to speak out to do the right thing here and fight for our brothers and sisters. With that said, I didn't mean to get all Rob serious and stuff at the end here, but this is something that won't go away until we address it. It's something that I've seen my whole life, these incidents where everybody was in an uproar and stuff happened and there was no follow through, from Rodney King all the way to, George Floyd. There has to be something done. I mean, you can't just let it keep. It's going to keep happening until we do. So why not fix it now, right, Brian?
I am 100% with you.
So anyway, I got a little preachy at the end there. It is what I do sometimes, so forgive me. But No matter what, we're going to close it down here. We'll see you back. Well, I'll see you back on Monday. Brian, as we said again, and we'll say it a third time now, is going to cover AEW's show tomorrow with his All Elite Hour show. That is going to come out Friday, Brian?
Well, actually, I think we're going to record. Well, no, because what's today?
Today is Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's
Wednesday,
Thursday.
Dumbass.
Yeah, it'll be out on the weekend. It'll be out on the weekend. We're not doing right after. It's not a reaction show right after Dynamite, but we'll have it out on the weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So sometime this weekend,
yeah,
you'll get the All Elite Hour somehow.
Yeah,
it'll be there.
Somehow.
But until then, what's Rob always saying? Wash your hands, call your grandma, all that stuff. My closing line, though, is very simple. Tune in next time, same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by You Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Please, listen to my voice. Take it from the wise old Jew.